Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second half of the show. Today, of course, I do have a very, very special guest. I've been saying this for weeks that I really want to sit down and talk to this individual. And the reason why is because there's some things that I actually read. I read some things in this book here, and I tell you, it blew my mind in terms of, can one think this? Or did one sit down with a group of persons and say, let me just take your opinion, and put it in one? Or did one live this? But the only way we can get to know is to actually sit and talk with individuals. So I actually reach out to some persons who know some persons who can connect me with the person who actually wrote this book. So I've been connected, ladies and gentlemen. So now we actually had to wait for her to come off all this book signing tour. So her flight actually landed in Florida for less than a day. She'll be here. So we kind of send somebody for us. Cap her and bring her, come down at the studio with us. So ladies and gentlemen, joining me today is of course Sophia. Sophia, good afternoon and welcome to Lunch with TC. The Naked Truth.
So I have on too much clothes?
Like that's already. No, it's not that you have on too much clothes, you know. The thing about it is, when we speak, we don't speak in subliminal. That's what the naked truth is. Just tell it to you raw. It's like having sex without a condom.
That's a good way to put it.
Yes, man. It's a very good way. So how are you? Sophia, tell me about you, and a whole pleasure to have you here with us. Give our viewers a little bit a rundown of who Sophia is, where were you born, you know.
So it's like one of those questions people ask you, right? Where are you from? And then I have to ask the question again. What do you mean where I come from? Because I come from a whole heap of place. You understand what I say?
Talk to me. The language.
So I was born and raised in Kingston, Jamaica. I actually spent most of my years in Raytown, which is by General Penitentiary. So I'm a bad girl. Underneath all of the something.
I like that.
I moved to Connecticut at age 16.
Very young.
Yeah.
Didn't even finish school yet.
No, so I had to come up here and go to boarding school.
Boring or bored?
Boring.
Boring.
That's why I write a lot, to get rid of some boredom.
Okay,
Yeah.
get that.
In my travels, I served in the U.S. Army for 8 years as a medic. I served in Desert Storm, Desert Shield. And I actually lived in Miramar for about a year and a half before I moved to Detroit, Michigan, which is where I live now.
Okay, so you're accustomed to moving because you're in the military. One. And you move into Florida. I hear about all these moving, but there was no intent of you actually moving back home?
Again, which home you talk about?
Jamaica.
Jamaica.
Yes. Where it all started.
Yeah, where it all started. I would say not on a move and stay the 365 days
Yes.
a year.
Touch and Lego.
But touch and Lego. You understand? I have to keep the story them fresh so I can't stay one place too long.
Right. All right. So based on that though, you being in the military, you moving up and down and so forth, I thought that one with such an experience would, if you have decided to become an author, your experience in the military would lead you to write about what it is that you're actually experiencing in the military. But this is definitely not the case.
You never know.
Is it?
Yeah, you never know.
Okay.
All experiences come and is based on love. So it's a matter of how you perceive it, right?
So it comes and it's based on love.
Absolutely.
Right. I love where this is going, because I have had some experience, and I wonder if a true love I get them experience. I've gotten some scars. Was it true love?
Yes.
Because I fell in love, and then the same mouth that said I love you turn around and say I hate you.
But you understand, there's the purity of love, right? And then there's what people consider love, but it's not love, it's lust. It's more one there with you. More in it with you. But that don't mean that I love you.
I love her. More in it with you.
You understand?
I love that. You know what, the takeaway from all this, you don't forget your roots. I love that. Your roots is embedded in you.
Thank you.
And most kids who move away from their natural roots at such tender age tend to either outgrow it or they have been taught something, different roots, so then more entwined with the roots that they've been taught, because you have done preliminary more, not, I would say, like halfway your schooling, and then the other half here.
So it's like my father, Mr. Chu, Chinaman.
Is that true?
Him come from Linstead, Heathfield area. And I moved to go live with him in Connecticut. And he was one of them, very racha. If you don't understand me, you don't understand. So sometimes when he went to the doctors or whatever, I had to go with him to translate because I'm not chatting American. No, sir.
And it's a China man.
It's a China man, absolutely. So, you know, he made us hold on to our roots.
Okay.
Me never hear my father twang yet in my life. So when we operated in the household, that's what it was. We were in Jamaica, in Connecticut.
Okay.
Right?
Like you bring your own Jamaica, this piece of
understand?
Jamaica here. with
Here.
you. Never leave it.
Never.
What made you decide to go to the army?
Two things. One, me to run away from what I didn't deem was a healthy lifestyle for me.
And that was?
And so when you come to the United States, sometimes you're thinking you're coming into a family that will be embracing of you, right? But sometimes that's not what it is, because it's where you think that you should be nurtured as a child, that's not what happens. So to put myself in a better situation, I thought that I had to leave, and that's what I did.
Okay.
So I went to school in upstate New York, and then soon after I went to the military.
So you saw that this as an outlet for you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that changes your life somewhat?
A whole heap.
A whole lot?
Changed my life a whole heap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hence why the book tells so many different tales of what love really is.
Absolutely.
Was that where you first found love?
No, I never loved me did fan before either. I want me did fan. Wait a minute. No, you know, them give you the story where say, look here, you got foreign, you know. And you know some love you, I'm not going to see you again.
Oh, so that one.
Right, teenage. It was a, yes.
Puppy love, the puppy love stage, right there.
Yeah.
So you thought that was love?
I thought that was love.
But when you realized, what did you use to evaluate the difference? To know that what I felt then wasn't love compared to what you use as a comparison?
I think it's a maturity in thought process. I think it's how you see that person outside of yourself.
Yes.
And it's the treatment that that person gives you, right? It's not necessarily what they say. It's how you guys interact with each other. How do you feel when you're together versus when you're with somebody else, or you're in a different situation and you're pining for that person on so much of a deeper level than to just say, you know, oh, we love each other, and, you know, it's more of a soul-jerking kind of a relationship.
Okay. So for me personally, when it comes on to the comparison, I remember the first time I fall in love. I remember that feeling. So throughout all my life, I keep searching for that feeling, but I can't find it. But for me, then I realized that wasn't puppy love, based on what you search for throughout the years coming up. You know what I mean? Because it just have a whole different feeling. But again, that comes with the love at first sight kind of thing, right?
I think so too. And what's your concept of love?
Wow. I love that. I feel like I'm getting interviewed here. I like that. Let me try to answer it the best way I know. My concept of love is, one, getting to know me, not trying to understand me, but know me that this is who I am. And don't spend the rest of your life or try to understand me. What you see is what you get, plain. So don't try to look beyond that, because it's not the norm. Because I am never, ever the person that you can see do things as the normal folks, as who they call normal.
Right.
Would do. So maybe I would say I love you in a whole different way than the regular Joe would say it. Maybe I would make love to you different from the regular Joe will make love to you.
Right.
So you try compare that now to what you're accustomed to. And because of that, it may seem like I am just totally different. So you try to figure out who this person is, when don't just try to figure out who I am. Just know me that this is me.
And that's what love is, right? Allowing somebody to be themselves. Not what your expectation of them is.
Right.
Just allowing them to be themselves. And if you connect, you connect, right? And if you don't, That's just the way it is.
Exactly. So, Sophie, you wrote this book based on a situation that you have been going through, or you just take yourself one day and say, you know what? I hear how people are talking about this thing, love and so forth. Let me just write my definition of what it is.
All of that is my experience. Everything in that book is my experience.
So you're telling me
Yeah.
that if tomorrow should come and I should watch a movie of this book, everything that is portrayed is something that you have experienced.
Absolutely.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you this. If you want to know her experience, here's what you have to do. You have to get a copy of this book and see what she have experienced, because she have experienced a lot. Trust me.
It's all good stuff.
No, you know what? I admire your writing skill, for one. I admire how you letting the readers in and the build-up that makes me want to go to page number 2, because I always say, oh, so it's a 54, 55 page book. I could read this on a lunch break. And every time you read and say, you know, I'm going to read like the first 2 chapters and then I'm going to put it down. It's like, it's like you want to put it down when you say, all right, hold on, let me see what happened after this. That's what I get from this. So it's something that captures you.
Oh,
it gets your
good.
attention.
Thanks.
No, the thing about it is, as you can see, some of my folks, you know, make little notes here
Okay.
with questions that they want to know. You know what I mean? No, there is a part here that says your manhood. And the power of manhood. And they wrote, explain. When you say, I'm just diving into it.
Okay.
When you said here, the power of the manhood, what were you talking about there?
So that's a play on words, actually, right?
Okay.
So it's the power of the man himself when you're in his presence. And then in addition to that is the power of the man's hood.
Literally.
Literally.
All right. This is why the show is called The Naked Truth, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I like the show. We can be here and express ourselves with our opinion the best way we know how to. And I like it when them come raw. For real. So this is something you have literally experienced, the power of the manhood.
Absolutely.
Okay. So with that experience, you have expressed in this book how this take you to a whole different place. This sounds to me like when someone was just losing their virginity. Was that the case?
No,
It wasn't the case.
it wasn't.
But then again, it feel like you were actually making love for the first time. So it make you wonder what those other boys in the wood were doing.
No, not necessarily, because them boys in the hood, that's why I date boys in the hood. I want a man with a hood,
Okay.
right?
So, but guess what? When you said that the way that it's soaring high above the skies to a place only he can take me. Nobody has ever take you to that place?
That was a moment in time. That's a moment in time.
And you have exploded into 10,000 pieces as intense as lightning. I have read this and I'm like, what did he do? I want to drink what he was drinking. I want to eat whatever he was eating. Or whatever it is that makes you, it was so intense, like lightning.
So, making love, right?
Yes.
Okay, there is screwing. Can I say that?
Of course
All
you
right,
can.
So there's
It's
screwing,
the
right?
naked
You understand?
truth. Right.
And then there's making love. When somebody makes love to you, it's more than just a physical connection.
It started
Pum,
from the
pum to
first
it's
you
the
come
it's
in.
the mental state, it's the conversation, it's the reading in the back of your mind, it's that touch, that simple touch where you feel the heat just resonates around your body. He touches you or he looks at you and you ever feel like the hair stand up in the back of your neck? Them kind of feeling there. So by the time it gets to the point where there's the physical connection,
Where the penis interact with the vagina.
absolutely. Once you reach that point, you're already exploding because you're anticipating it so much, just the entry so much.
Wow.
That once it slips, woo!
So explain. I'll tell you, this book is going to sell 1 million copies. I can tell you that much for now. Let me ask you this question. Yo, these people are actually going wild online too as well. Let me say this to you though, Sophie. Now, the fact that sometimes when a man come to that stage with a woman, a woman probably look at him like him worthless, but he probably felt that same intense feeling like lightning that makes him come quicker than he should if he was more comfortable. And some woman may look at it like, yo, the man never touched me and him come already. Can it be that same feeling for the man when a woman are present, the way she touch him, the hair just come up in her back? Could it be the same?
I think it could be, but you're gonna have some explaining to do.
Dear, why do we have to explain?
But you can simply tell me what it was, babe. You know, when you walk into the room, I'ma see you.
Anxiety.
You just turn around your back and me see the body and you just stand up and by the time you reach me, man, what?
Explode.
You understand?
Yeah.
And then me just give some magnum and me run it again.
I like her. So you're willing to work with it?
You understand?
Like that.
I'm here to teach.
You're here to teach. I love that. So, you know, the funniest thing, the problem that a lot of couples are having is not understanding each other and on that level of passion where it's not that this person is impotent. It's not that this person is not romantic. But you have to understand that this person, this is probably what he or her is accustomed to. And when one accustomed to a thing, say one coming out of a 5, 6, 7 year relationship where them all this bam, 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 there was no little foreplay in between.
Right.
And then you come with the foreplay and then feel like, yo, get this thing fast and going because what they're accustomed to. It's conversation that makes the difference in knowing this is what we do and this is what we're going to try and so forth. Some people just feel like when we get here in this room together and these lights are off, yo, it's on. There's no conversation before, none after.
Right.
So it just feel like a booty call.
And that's the thing, right? What kind of love are you looking for?
I don't think
what
that's
kind of relationship is it you're
love.
trying to be in? That's my point. You're just there to get it done.
Right.
Now, we understand if we dare to get it done, let's just get it done. If we don't get it done the right way, I ain't going to call you no more, and you ain't going to call me no more.
Right.
But if I'm there looking for a relationship, a love connection, not even necessarily a relationship. You know, you can have a love connection with somebody and not be in a relationship with them.
Is it?
Absolutely.
Okay. So let me ask you this question. You can be in a situation with someone.
An entanglement?
An entanglement. Bet even the butterfly. How much better? An entanglement with someone.
Right.
And you're not thinking about, because for some people they think with the other head, so to speak. And they're into this thing because of how good the lovemaking is.
Right.
But on the other hand, you're single, I'm single, and we're seeing each other, but for the other party, they don't have no intention of going forward because they just enjoy this moment.
Right.
But if we enjoy this moment so much, why not want it for a lifetime?
Nah, see.
Why remain in an entanglement?
And I was being funny when I said entanglement, right? You
Yeah,
can be in
no,
a
I understand,
relationship
but I
or a
understand, yeah.
situation or whatever. I've been divorced since 2002.
That's a long time.
Absolutely. And I love every minute of it.
The divorce are...
All of that too.
Okay.
I love, I live by myself.
Yes.
I have great friends. I have wonderful relationships.
Yes.
But to be where you asked about taking it to that next level,
Yes.
right? It's, I think being set in your ways to a certain point too kind of damages you for somebody that maybe wants to take it to that next level. So you can have a conversation with that person and say, babes, I love it when you come over, you know. Me and you, and me know, so the several hours we're going to get together and we just work it out. We sit down, we watch TV, blah, 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 blah. But guess what? You got to go home.
You have to go home.
You understand?
Hey.
You know, but having conversations with people, that's how you work it out because there's different strokes for different folks.
True that. True that. All right, so I'm going to ask you this question now because I know persons, especially when it's a conversation spur up on this kind of conversation, this wording coming from the female. A lot of female may think that, yo, you must be mad. A female would say to you, listen, I understand that you're a man and you may have needs. However, what it is that I want is to, if you ever have those urges to go sleep with someone, I want you to walk with these condoms. Some men start to think different, like, hey, I wonder if it's something she want to do. Why she allow me to go do this? But for a woman, is that...
You say I'm a different kind of woman, so you're probably asking the wrong woman that question.
Talk to me. Because I've met women who actually says, even if you want to go have sex with someone else, come, talk to me. I'll get the person. So we all can do it.
Yeah, you know.
I've met women like that.
Yeah, I'm a different kind of a woman. I am a, you do you, I do me kind of a person. I don't need to know what you're doing unless you deem it necessary for me to know. But don't go out there, do nothing, and then make it come back to me. Tell me first.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So, me allowing a man, I shouldn't even say allow, because he's grown.
Right.
Me allowing a man to go out and have a sexual relationship with somebody else, it's not me allowing him. That's what you want to do. Go do you.
Right.
You know, but again, don't judge me or put me in a box because I'm a woman.
Right.
You understand?
Most women now would say that, you know what? She must be stupid. I idiot that. Maturity
is a hell of a thing.
Hey, I'm going to tell you that. Maturity, ladies and gentlemen, is a hell of a thing. And it takes someone mature to actually can think like that. For real, some people are caught up in, whether it be religion or those friends, the Joneses. Some people are caught up that way. And so therefore they feel like if you should allow the person you're with to at least give him a pack of condom and say walk with this. That's maturity. That means, listen, I have no control over this man when he's out of my presence, you know, but at least may I said to him, say, when you do it, protect us.
Right.
And I've heard that before. And I have to respect the lady who actually used those words to me. Now, if I am with someone now, and because I think like a realist, I don't know what you're doing outside of me. You can say, you remember I said to you earlier that the same mouth that said I love you said I hate you. And I've experienced that. So I know now that I have no control over this young lady. Whatever it is that you want to do, but remember, I'm giving you this too. Protect us. It's not that I'm giving you permission to go out there and do this, but if you should ever have the urge or the need to, remember us. Remember, this is why I give you this.
Right.
So there should be no excuse if I should be in a lab or a doctor office testing myself. Yo, listen.
I put on one tight jacket.
I put on a tight jacket.
What can I have a fit? Can you imagine?
Imagine that.
My gosh.
For real, bring one, come give me.
You understand?
I tell you. But you know what? Some crazy comment coming in online, and I'm going to read them because we like to read these comments. For real. Now, School as Roland says, if there was a concept of love, our community couldn't be suffering from mistrust and infidelity. We are lustful. Infidelity is, I think you should say we are lustful. Our infidelity is what we inherit. We have a lot of work to do. Understand the state of love. We are just lusting, lustful. We're just lustful. So the difference between lust and love.
Huge thing.
It's a huge thing.
Yeah. Lust to me is physical. It's a physical mindset because your mind or you're attracted to a certain thing. So you act in lust. And that sometimes lead into infidelity. To me, love is so much more. So you can love, you love the person. First, you have to love yourself. If you can't love yourself, you got issues. Because what you're portraying out there to other people, that you're telling them that you love them, is not love. It's something that you're seeking for.
Right.
You have to have it for yourself to even give it or know what it looks like or feels like from somebody else.
True that.
Right? So, again, the concept of love is a holistic mind thing. And it's so much more that we could ever be. So you actually perpetuate it every time. You give it, you get it, you give it, you get it, you give it, you get it. So whereas lust is more of answering that physical call of your body, which is, I'm horny. I need to be satisfied.
Right.
You know
but is there something wrong with that,
though? No.
Okay. So a lot of people who are looking for love, meet somebody who is just horny and need to be satisfied. This is where the problem comes in.
Conversation.
Solve the problem.
Absolutely.
For real. Now, Sean Garrett said, freak not to stay overnight.
Some freak worked staying overnight.
Unconditional love, tough. Is that true?
You can't go in. It's not tough, because if it's tough, you put conditions on it.
Okay.
But it's a learned behavior.
All right, so your guest live herself but write a book about love reality. Please talk about what's in the book so we can get caught up with content. Love her spirit though.
You want me to read one of the poems? You want me to read Manhood?
Read Manhood.
Can I borrow the book?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, please like, tag, share, and don't be afraid to comment.
Oh, you didn't mark it?
Ask, comment. It's right, one of those right there.
Let me find. Oh, here it is.
Share this with a friend or family member. If you have comment, there's something that you want to ask Sophie, please ask a question. She's going to read Manhood right now. And this is the part that, of course, some of our employees here that read the book are very interested in. So, Sophie, tell me about my manhood.
Ooh, your manhood. When I think of your manhood, I can taste the nectar as sweet as honey.
Whoa.
I can smell the essence of your being.
Whoa.
I can feel the pulse of your life. I can hear the rhythm of your heartbeat. I can feel the power of your ancestry. I can envision the beauty of your strength. My senses are overwhelmed with the power of your manhood, standing straight in his glory, holding court as he so gently but firmly makes his intentions known. I crumble humbly at his beckoning, releasing all my inhibitions to ride with him to glory, soaring high above the sky to the place where only he can take me, exploding into 10,000 pieces as intense as lightning. Gently, he guides my return to earth, ensuring my safe homecoming to the warmth of your tender embrace.
All right. So, you hear that. Let's dive into it into layman terms. So, he guides your way to glory.
He guides my way back down.
Back down.
Right.
So, he took you on that high.
Right.
And then, in that process, guide you back down.
Right.
Explain to me and our viewers, what is that moment like? What does it feel like in terms of sexual intercourse?
So it is.
Is that feeling when you first started, he took you up there?
Yeah.
So he touches all the right spots?
He touches all the right spots.
Okay.
And after the explosion, you know, some people just come and get up.
And they get up and then
you
just down
understand?
and cut and raise.
This a man, I make sure him hold me and make sure me come back
down.
down slowly, so me can enjoy
Jesus.
all of it.
And then we whisper
Right.
this conversation, this light conversation after.
Yeah.
All right, so you know what happened? Some men have these tendency to ask these questions. How was it? Was that a case? Was that the case here? Did this man have to whisper, how was it? Or just by your...
Just by my expression and my feeling, and you know.
He knows
right.
exactly that he did well.
Absolutely.
I have this tendency to look over and said, my job here is done. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking with Sophia
Chew, as in chewing gum.
Chew.
Chew.
And of course, yes, she's Jamaican. You can hear it in the accent. Not only that, ladies and gentlemen, she's an author. She's all woman, I must say, to be honest with you. And you know, your journey as a child growing up to where you are right now, where do we see Sophia in about 2-3 years from now? Let's use after the pandemic.
After the pandemic. So, you know, the pandemic don't slow down nobody. It just teaches you to refocus and
exactly.
you know, find a different way to do it.
Right.
So I actually have published,
yes,
just released this one.
I am.
It's I Am, and it's going to be 3 volumes. So this is volume number 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, the book is entitled I Am, and it's going to be 3 volumes. This
Three
is
volumes.
volume.
That's the first one.
Okay.
Right.
Is this a picture of you
Yes.
on? Oh my goodness.
That's a picture of me and the first dolly that my father sent from foreign for me.
Yes.
Yes.
Yo, the dollar look like a little baby sister, I swear to you. But your father pumps some pride you out doing, and the little shoes with the
Can I
socks them
tell
pull
you?
up on your ear part and a two, like you really have the shiny little thing about you. For real. However though, the book I Am, is this about you, your childhood growing up?
It's more of understanding the concept of being fearless, realizing who you are,
Right.
and the journey. So this is my more modern stuff. And you follow me on IG, which
Right.
is Solochure, SOLOCHUE. You'll see some of my daily quotes. So it talks about where I am today, how I got there, through poetry and daily quotes.
Okay. I'm liking this. So these books are currently available now, and it's on all digital.
Yes, so you can get it on my website, which is www.sophiachue, that's SOPHIACHUE.info, or you can get them on Amazon also.
Okay. I actually purchased a lot of my books off Amazon.
Yeah.
And both books are available on
Yeah, they're
online.
both available now.
Okay, and your personal website?
Sophia, SOPHIACHUE.info.
So it's a full name.
INFO. Absolutely.
Okay, that info. Not that
My
com.
powder,
That
my
net or
name
that
now.
org, it's that info. Of course, for real. Imagine, did they used to mock you at school with your last name? Because growing up in Jamaica,
Yeah, man.
I tell some people that it's a bullying. If you were brought up in Jamaica, you know how to deal with bullying. You have been called so many names, you just start answer them.
You understand?
For real, man.
My
But
mother has 6 away and she called me my brother and my sister name, so I answer.
Oh, yeah,
so
me
I
get
may as
them.
well answer the other ones
you
too.
Craig. Which one now? Come here. Where you want name?
Yeah.
For real. But you know what? I am happy and delighted that, one of we can call it that, one of we, I'd, break the glass in such a way that can express ourselves and freely in chapters that we here in the diaspora can get a hold of this book. And, it's not something of those other authors that we know nothing of and like to support. And this is why I always tell my people that the more we can be stronger is to support each other. And if we can, go and purchase a copy of the book. We could sit here and read this book daily to you like one of those bednight stories, and it will amuse you. But I will urge you to sit on your quiet time and get something from any one of these books. And here's why I say that. Because when I read the Book of Love, ladies and gentlemen, I thought that I would be reading something like, love means never to say that I'm sorry or so forth. But I have experienced something totally different. And based on my ability to read between lines, I could have tell where the author, you, Sophia Chu, was actually going, especially with, your name, your manhood, stuff like that, and the way it's constructed. It was well written.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
Well
it.
written. And it's just short and spicy. You know what I mean? Short and spicy. And some of us, life that we live is already a book.
Absolutely. And that's what we have to remember. We're writing our own books. Some of us know how to express it in different ways. I
Right.
choose words.
Right.
Others,
Choose
do
other
songs.
business.
Others,
True.
absolutely.
I love that. So, ladies and gentlemen, get a copy of this book, Book of Love. It's Sophia's Book of Love. And it's not a recipe to a great relationship. What it is Sophia's personal testimony in her own words, so to speak. All right? So don't feel like I read the book and it didn't save my relationship. No, it's something that you can take a chapter or two and see if you can strengthen what you have going on. What I like though, Sophia, is the rawness. For real. When I say the rawness, I mean the fact that even though it may be sugar-coated in the book, meaning the way you play on with words, one can tell if they can read and understand that this is your... It's like reading it, but can watch the undressing and everything and the whole motion, the sweat, the heat. You know what I mean? Literally like lightning flash from outside into this room when you actually reach that climax and so forth. So it's good. It's good writing.
So interestingly enough, those poems are over 20 years old.
20?
So it took me that long to be able to release and be open to criticisms or folks making comments based on what I write.
Right.
I had to get to that on the fuck stage.
True.
And that's what it is. So it took me a long time to be mature enough to just say, you know what? Here we go.
All right. So let's go to a little bit more comment. Let me see. Yes, we have a little time, Sophie. So
all right.
Dive through these comments. Nikki Daw says, love her vibes, for real.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate
Sean
it.
Garrett said, I was talking to a young lady the other day, and she explained how she prefer if her partner remains in her after the act instead of the sudden disconnect. This, she explained, is part of the high and low and release of the connection. Is that so?
That is so.
Remain in her, meaning you don't just pull out.
Because what you're doing is you're shocking our system. It's nothing like coming and then being shocked too, right? We have to come down. Did I say something wrong?
She's killing me here.
No, but you're shocking our system.
Yes.
So, you know, the release for you is different from the release for me.
Yes.
So be mindful of it if we're going to be connected. You know, take me down slowly.
Okay.
Right.
So shock the system.
Yeah, you can't take the shock the system. You make a top punch.
Oh, so no sudden pulling
no,
out. All right. Lord Jesus, if you have some time, I beg you a minute. Schoolers Roland says, Sophia, so a manhood is the gratification of ecstasy? Question. I love the poetic style of intimacy. It's very sexual. I could appreciate that. But love, I don't know. Enough respect, Sophia. Blessings, Queen.
Thank you.
So let me just break it down. He's asking about, so a manhood is the gratification of ecstasy. That's what you're saying in the poem.
Yeah.
All right. Him say, love the poetic style of intimacy. It's very sexual. I couldn't appreciate that. I could appreciate that. But love, I don't know. Meaning...
But you know what? Everybody is entitled to their concept of what love is. This, to me, is what love is.
Right.
So you can pick and choose the parts that work for you. And you can also have parts that you may not agree with. Because your concept of love and my concept of love can, a lot of times, be different things, right? So me loving this person, a part of me loving this person is that his manhood, right? Which is, like I said in the poem, it's not just about his penis. It's about the person. I talked about his ancestry. I talked about his strength. I talked about his power.
His ancestry is that him getting all of this from his forefathers and so forth?
Absolutely. So I can look at him and I can see he's powerful based on the ancestors that he came from. And that entices me. That make me love him so much more because I can understand the way he walks in a room. Man, you walk into the room, just the way you step in make me go, oh, you know what I'm saying? So that leads to that connection. And a part of that connection is the crescendo and knowing that he'll be there to grab me when I come down.
Oh, wow. So he's also a hero.
Absolutely.
So to speak, he'll there to catch you.
Catch me, right.
I love this.
But if him pull out fast, make a punch him. You understand?
Let's make a punch him if him pull out fast. So we have to go all over again.
All over.
We have to do this, but I wouldn't mind. Let's go again. Let's go again. That's the reason.
You get it, right? Practice makes perfect.
For real. But you know what? You know, I see that our listeners loving it excessively, and I see that this book. I'm urging that you all go buy a copy now, if you have to, before they say that they only have 2 left. Amazon love to say these things, only 2 left in stock. So make sure you get yours now, because you are actually doing. I thought when I was talking with my friend, he was saying that you were doing some work on this book in terms of going around like some book signing thing with it.
Yes, so I did self-publish, so I put the entire book together myself. I wrote it, I got it edited by a friend of mine, had some reviews in there and published it.
Right.
I did my first book signing at Cola, which is a West African nightclub in Farmington Hills, Michigan.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So once Corona decide to go about our
Intervene.
business, or
Oh,
we decide of a controller,
yes.
then we'll, have other dates.
Okay.
Because I spend a lot of time in South Florida, actually. I love this part of the world. I've been at a couple of events that you've done.
The tropics.
I don't know if you remember me, but me dress up nice and wear patines and them something day. I was at People Profile last year, and you did some work there.
We were there too.
Right.
Yeah.
I know you were somewhere. So I spend a lot of time in South Florida. So my hope is to, once we kind of get this organized, to do
some book signing here.
A book signing
Please
here.
let us know. We'd love to be a part of it. For real. I'd love to follow your journey where this is concerned.
Thank you so much.
And I'm happy to know you and know that you're doing such great work. I admire your work.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, we're actually coming up to that time where I want to thank you, and you for liking, tagging, and share. What I'll do to like you even more, if you should go down to Amazon.com. You don't even have to have the app. Just go online and type in the search, Sophia's Book of Love. That's it. Just type that in the search, ladies and gentlemen. And purchase a copy. For real. I actually get mines. For real, I do. And, I see where I have a lot of work to do, because every man would want a woman feel this way. Trust me. That's when you will say, my work here is done.
Absolutely.
For real.
And you don't have to look over.
No, you don't have to look over. You just
lean
turn to the
back.
side and say, my work here is done. But Sophia, so you're here in Florida, of course, enjoying the weather, I must say.
Fantastic weather we're having.
Yeah, beautiful. Rain here and there and everywhere. We're just coming off a tropical warning and so forth. Great timing.
Yeah.
So in terms of Jamaica now, because we know it's independence and so forth, and you living in so much different state, what's the culture like in especially where you are right now? You're in Michigan right now.
I'm
What's
in
the
Metro
culture?
Detroit. It's great. We have a very large Caribbean community up there. Oh, yeah. I'm actually the executive director of the Caribbean Community Service Center.
Stop it.
So we do advocacy, community service, those kinds of services for our community there.
Wow. I tell some people that anywhere in the world you go, you will find Jamaicans.
A whole heap of way up there.
I didn't even know that Jamaicans are so much in Michigan.
Yeah, man. Jamaicans,
they have a whole
Trinis.
community.
Yeah, man. The whole way up there together. One love for sure.
And the unity amongst the Caribbean folks there, it's okay.
Great.
Okay.
We only have one another. What else do I got to do?
Because sometimes they tend to style us as crab in a barrel, Like every time we try to move.
That's everywhere. You just have to know for organize.
And it's every group too. It's not just us.
No. I think it's a lot of times it's this egotistical thing, which is lack of love. Egotistical thing that we're always trying to one up on each other instead of coming together.
Okay.
So I think with leadership and guidance in the right direction, we can always work it out.
Leadership and guidance. Plus with love.
Whole love.
There is 3 things you said here, and I'm going to look for it because I think it's there at first. I think someone who said it in the review that it goes with the important things in life is love, friendship, and companionship. I think companionship and friendship kind of run one in one.
Yeah. It kind of does. I think when they're talking about companionship, they're talking about intimate relationship versus
versus the friendship.
Versus the friendship.
Okay. And you have turned on some light bulb on a lot of stuff here today, in the fact that you can be with someone and don't have that intent of saying, oh, this is the person I want to live my entire life with, but I just enjoying the moment right now.
Absolutely.